Okay. I'm back. Let me talk a little bit about my search, looking around for God on the outside of myself when God is on the inside. I am God. That was a time, I think it was 2005, right before I went to New Zealand. I went to this Vipassana meditation camp, and I think it was in July 2005. But I chose the wrong dissertation. I chose the Hindu dissertation rather than the English. That was a big mistake. And they played a recording of Professor Goenka. He's a Hindu, and the whole thing was in Hindu, and he would growl. It was a Oh, he would, instead of him talking, sometimes he would go, he would go like that. Oh, and I was the only black person. I would say it had to be maybe 30 people, maybe 40 people, men and women there, but I was the only black person, so I knew I chose the wrong one. But we had to make a vow of silence. You couldn't speak for the whole 10 days you were there. And there was a whole lot of other rules, but I did it. And before my son left, he said, "Mama, are you sure this is what you want to do?" He said, "You're the only black person here." He said, "I don't want to have to come back and burn this place down." And I laughed. I said, "No, I'm going to behave and I'll be okay." So that made me not call him even when I got distressed, because my youngest son, ooh, he won't. He'll tell you what he's gonna do, and he'll do it. He will kill you, and he'll be talking to you the whole time. But the oldest son will not say a word. He will just attack you. We've had to pull him off of people that just looked at me the wrong way. It's like, wow, these kids, when it come to their mother, they were crazy. So I knew if I called him to come rescue me, he was going to actually burn the place down, because he said he would. So I had to go for the long haul, and I guess by the second day, I felt so depressed, and you had to fight for food almost, even though you couldn't talk to these people. The big fat people would be in line, and they would hog out the food, be dripping off their plate. Maybe they've been to this camp before, and they knew that you don't go for seconds. If it's gone, it's gone. And I'd be in the back of the line. When I get up there, no more oatmeal, no more bread, no nothing. And they didn't pull anything out. That was it. So I learned I think about the evening of the second day, I learned that you push your way. And me and this big fat white girl, we got into a shoving match in the line, but I won. You wasn't gonna eat up all my food. So I learned to get in that line early, and you had to push your way, and you had to you even though you couldn't talk, you had to show them what you meant. So by the third day, I'm just covered with anger and just, oh man, just hate. And there's no way you could meditate. And we meditated about 5 times a day. So I couldn't meditate because I was thinking about how I was gonna get my meals and who I was gonna push off the stepping stones. Because what they had little stones that take you from your dormitory to the meditation hall. And these stones were there on purpose. It was a way for you to yield to somebody and let them take the stone. It's kind of like how black people had to get off the sidewalk when white people were coming. That's what it reminded me of, even though I didn't live through that time, but that's what it symbolized to me. But I had gotten so mean by the third day. So we had 10 days of this. By the third day, I didn't get off the stone for nobody. They had to get out of my way. And in the mornings when I got up and showered, I brought my hair gel. And my hair was perm slick. And I would take this gel and just paste it all over my head. And take a scarf and tie it around my head real tight. So these sounds of this man go Inca going, "Arr!" I didn't want that to penetrate my psyche because I felt like they were trying to indoctrinate you or something, hypnotize or something. So I tied the scarf on my head real tight and pushed my way through there, the line, and one Indian lady who she thought she was tough. We had this match on the stones one day, and I didn't get off the pavement. She didn't either. So we had a stalemate. We standing there looking at each other, and I just took the next step and just knocked her in the mud. I said to myself, I didn't say nothing to her. I said to myself, who you gonna call? Since we can't talk to nobody. So when she saw me again, she politely got in the mud and let me have the sidewalk. This is about the fourth day. So, but one evening, we had already had meditation and we were waiting on dinner time. And this is way in the country in East Texas. A lot of cows. You will wake up during the night and a cow would be peeping through your window. So this particular day, we were standing outside a fence and looking at the pasture. And this cow, about 3 or 4 cows were out there, but this one bull, he would have sex with a female bull, and a cow, and the cow would never stop eating. She just was just chewing the cud, and you wanted to laugh. And we would look at each other, but we weren't allowed to laugh either. So this bull would do what he had to do, and 2 minutes later he'd go mount another cow. And this went on until it was time for us to eat dinner. But that was the only thing about the whole 10 days that made us kind of see each other, kind of humor in the whole thing. But the day that I remember that one day we all had to go and say something to this guru. He sat on the stage with his legs crossed, and everybody had a turn to go talk to him. He was asking us, could we feel the air going through our nose? I thought that was a dumb question because you're breathing, okay? So I noticed everybody would crawl on their knees and sit before this man and talk to him. And then when they left, they didn't turn around. They ended up backing backwards so this man couldn't see their behind. So they backed backwards on their knees and went back to their lotus position. But I didn't sit in the lotus position because several people didn't because of handicaps or whatever. So I had a chair. They told me it was my time to go to him. And so I walked up there. I wasn't going to crawl before this man. So I told the lady to give me a chair, and she got the chair. And he asked some dumb questions. And they were dumb questions, so I just had a dumb answer. And at that moment, we didn't like each other. It was known that my spirit was arrogant, and I'm just a typical black woman, even though he probably didn't even know any black people. So I stood up and walked away from my chair, and they didn't like that because you're supposed to. I turned around and showed my back to him because I know I wasn't going to walk backwards. No, I'm not going to fall. So I just walked out of the meditation hall and got my place in line. But I think it was the 8th day. But let me tell you this, the place, when I got there, the place was, I don't know, dreams were just crazy. I had the craziest dreams, vivid dreams in that place. And the people who, the fat lady that was hogging the food, her dorm was right next to mine. Her room was right next to mine. And thin walls, you could hear. They fed us a lot of prunes, and we were gassy, and you could just hear people I passing gas between the doors and stuff. But one night, let's see, the first day we came, the fat white woman was real noticeable because it was about maybe four white people probably, and the rest of them were Hindu. And it was a skinny white woman that was there, kind of talking. That's before we made this vow of silence. They were talking to each other and kind of holding hands, and you could kind of figure they were probably lovers. I don't know why I picked that up early. So anyway, fast forward. We passing gas between the walls and stuff, and you wasn't supposed to bring any kind of medication. You weren't supposed to bring any aspirin. If you were on blood pressure medication, you had to let them know. But I was on Ambien, just like I'm on now. So I wasn't about to give them my Ambien. That's one thing I was gonna have, my sleep. So this particular night, I kind of waited late to take my Ambien. But the fat lady next to me, I could hear these noises, sexual noises. I said, wow, she's having a good time with her vibrator, or somebody is in the room with her. And I said, oh no, surely they wouldn't do that. They didn't talk, wasn't any talking. And probably these noises went on for a while. And then you heard snoring like a bull, a man. And I said, dang, she must have really satisfied herself. I said, if I knew it was like that, I brought my vibrator. So I didn't want to hear her snoring like that. So I went on, took my Ambien, and went to sleep. But every night I could hear these noises. The noise you doing her vibrator or whatever. So I just ignored it. I'd take my Ambien and go on. But I said, wow, if you got to do what you got to do. I said, if I know she's not sneaking her girlfriend in her room and they having sex like that. But I just kind of ignored that. And instead of masturbating, I'm going to take my sleeping pill. Forget this, because I got to wake up and make sure I'm in line to get my oatmeal and my toast and my prunes. Because it was a veggie thing. You didn't get any meat, so it was all vegetarian. So I didn't understand the whole gist of the thing until the 8th day. And it was a good thing. Hold on a minute. That's my cell phone. But I didn't understand the whole gist of the thing until the 8th day. And if I did understand it the whole 10 days, I would be totally consumed. You can't, at least I can't stay in that zone that long. I don't know, my mind wanders and I have a whole lot of different emotions. So the 8th day was when I understood what that was about. And it was a breakthrough. I don't understand what happened, but I remember I got in a meditative state, and a tear came out of my right eye. And I could see myself watching this tear. It's weird, but I even in the dark in the meditation hall, I said, why won't another tear come out of my left eye. But that's the day that I understood what the purpose of it. And it was just like another voice telling me that I was there to learn how to be a beggar, how to be humble. And after the 8th day, I stopped being a bully and stopped taking over the blocks. I gotta go. I got 15 minutes, but I'm gonna make another video, and I'm not gonna rush about it. But remember, this is the 8th day of meditation, okay? Bye.